Hey, it's a Monday, and that means a new episode of Noob Talk. My name's Liban Ali, and so what are we gonna talk about this week? Yeah, actually, you know what? I know something actually I've been thinking about since E3 last week, 2 weeks ago. Funnily enough, is FIFA 17. Now you might be thinking, what? FIFA 17 piqued your interest? Yes, it did, surprisingly. Mainly because of the fact that it's getting a narrative or a story mode. Now, this isn't necessarily anything new. Of course, it's not new. Other games have had it before, but not a FIFA game. So one of the things I want to talk about is, well, number one, FIFA 17 has a story mode. And number two, is this where sports games are heading now? Is this where the sports genre is going to go, to create these narrative driven experiences for the player? Now, sports games, in terms of competitive play, in terms of esports, it's got that covered. It's like, why would you need an actual story mode? Now, this will obviously target a whole different audience. I honestly thought myself that when Fight Night Champions got a story mode, I thought it was sick. I thought it was amazing, and I wished it would come back. And actually, one of the things I was hoping for this year at E3 was the fact that Fight Night would come back, and it would come back with, say, maybe a Fight Night Champions 2, or perhaps Fight Night with its story mode again. Now, FIFA 17 has it. Yeah, for sure, it's definitely piqued my interest, you know, in the sense that how are they actually going to do it? Now, they showed a trailer and whatnot. They showed how some of the cutscenes would look like. I completely forgot the name of the protagonist, working his way up from tryouts to playing for Manchester United. You see Jose Mourinho, he's managing the team, the manager's in the game now. And the way I remember it was, in terms of Fight Night, was that it worked round on round. So you'd have to do a certain amount of hits without getting knocked down. So it had these mini objectives, and for the most part, it worked pretty well. Now with FIFA, I'm not so sure they'll be able to do exactly the same thing, unless it's more open in terms of where the narrative heads. So if you lose a match, what happens next? Maybe you have a part during training where you have to get a certain amount of goals in and you mess up. So then what happens then? And what about the actual matches themselves? How is that going to work? So in terms of getting those details together, that's one of the main reasons it has piqued my interest. Now again, these story modes for sports games, it's not necessarily super new. NBA had a sort of similar thing with its My Career or My Player. 2K16 had the whole thing done with Spike Lee. So yeah, so it's not necessarily anything new, but for a series or franchise such as FIFA that has for so many years stuck to its guns and has kept to the idea of a single player in terms of My Career mode, I forgot completely the name of it, the single player mode, or online play where you're playing against other people's, or local multiplayer where you're playing against your friends for so long. It's interesting to see it try to move into other areas. Now, in terms of what that means for the sports genre itself, I couldn't tell you. To be honest, sports, in terms of the areas it can move into, are pretty limited. I don't really see FIFA as a series doing this every year, having a story mode, unless maybe it's really well received in 17. And basically, yeah, that's kind of where I see it going at the moment. Of course, sports genres compared to other genres, you haven't got that much leeway really in terms of moving into other places. Action adventure game, just come up with a new story, come up with a new objective, come up with a new goal. That's where your character's heading. In a sports game, unless they have a new character every time they make a story, I'm really not quite sure what they're going to do with it. But since I was such a fan of Fight Night Champion and its story mode, I do really hope that FIFA 17 pulls out all the stops when it comes to its story and really makes it work with the beautiful game that is football. Can't remember the last time I've actually sat down and played a FIFA title, but lo and behold, E3 2016, FIFA 17 story mode. And I'll definitely be looking to try that out now, because it's definitely piqued my interest, and I want to see what EA are going to do in order to move not only FIFA as a franchise forward, but also FIFA being a part of the sports genre forward. Will they do something similar with Madden? Will they do something similar with their own NBA series? You know, we'll only find out in due time. We will only find out in due time. And so that's the end of this week's Noob Talk. A little shorter than usual, but this is something I actually want to talk about. It's been on my mind for a while. Glad to have gotten it out of the way. It's been interesting, that's for sure. As always, please do like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below, let me know what you think about FIFA 17 story mode. You think it's gonna be cool? You think it's gonna be whack? let us know in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the video, about future videos, content you want to see over on Twitter at the Liban Ali on Twitter. If you want, follow me on Instagram at @the_Liban as well. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel. It's easy. It's right there. The button's under the video. There's a button in the video that will be there once this is actually up. Just hit the button, subscribe, get a new video every week, guaranteed. Once a week you will get a video, because that's just how I roll, and I will never leave you a week without some content. So signing off, my name's Liban Ali. Noob Talk you can catch every Monday, and until next time, stay free, ya noobs.